to your 2 times table, really.
Yeah.
But actually I've found that the best players in the world, they are still doing their 2 times table until they do it perfectly.
Yeah.
Getting down to the shot, am I on the correct line of aim? Am I completely still?
Yeah.
Am I finishing the shot in the same way? These are the things that top players in the world are working on.
Yeah.
So what about the rest of us?
Yeah.
And I think the approach that it sounds like you made is just to master 2 or 3 things, and that's it. The 2 or 3 major priorities in your game, focus on those, and then just when they're done, not do 300 other things, but just enjoy the game.
Yeah.
It sounds like you are actually playing the game instead of obsessively going through every single improvement idea you see on the forums.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So that's terrific, and that epitomises what it takes to improve at snooker, and particularly for players under 100 break standard. That approach that you've employed is so important, and if you keep that approach, you'll improve the quickest. So it's like they call it the speed of going slow.
Right.
If you improve gradually,
Yeah.
you can reach the top of a mountain. If you're going too quick and falling over yourself, you just stay flat.
Yeah.
It's impossible to improve. One thing we discussed last time, which I wanted to ask you about, is when we were saying rephrasing the self-judgment question. So instead of saying, well, why am I moving on the shot?
Yeah.
Rephrase that to, how can I do what I want?
Yeah.
Which is stay still.
Stay still, yeah.
Not, why did I miscue, how can I hit the ball cleanly? I don't know if you consciously took on that as time went on, or whether it just helped orient you in our session together.
More, even if I've got straight black, or whatever it is, you learn, that giving every ball the same amount of respect. It might be hanging over a pocket, but the thing is, you catch it slightly thick or thin, you're not on your next ball.
Yeah.
So when I have missed balls and stuff, or even if there were an easy ball and stuff, where before I'd miss it and you just walk away thinking annoyed, I've missed an easy ball, why am I missing easy balls? Where now it was like, alright, wait a minute, did I cue that wrong? Or was my aiming wrong? Did I not walk onto the line? And then sometimes you're like, yeah, I just slid across and played that black. I didn't actually stand back and walk into the shot. So you can actually fault out what you did, so next time you're not doing that again. So it's like a bit of self-diagnosis. You can diagnose where you went wrong, as opposed to just dwelling on the fact that you missed it.
Yes, this is a very important part as well of even what top players do. I mean, a top player will know if they've hit slightly off center of the cue ball, so within a millimetre or two, because they can feel it.
Yeah.
But a club player won't have that level of sensitivity. And the more you have a completely consistent technical package, almost like a robot on every shot, like a photocopy machine, the more you have that, the more you'll notice smaller differences between shots. So doing your cueing practice once a week, I mean, I used to, before I'd start practicing, just do 10 of these, 10 deliveries without a cue ball to my satisfaction. Okay, that's okay, 10 times, now I'm allowed to play today. And I was doing 5-6 hours a day at that time. But I still found it imperative to do that, to make sure the cue was doing what I wanted it to do.
Yeah.
So that diagnosis is extremely important. It will get more automatic for you, and it will get easier for you as well to diagnose what you should have done correctly. And what this does is getting out of, why did I miss? Why am I such an idiot? Which so many players fall into. Or the opposite of that, negative judgment, is positive judgment. Yeah, I'm going to win. I'm a great player. I've done it. I don't need to concentrate anymore. And standing up from a shot early in celebration or surprise or shock. that is positive judgment. Both judgments will cloud your observation of what is happening. Observation is more important than giving in to judgment.
Yeah.
Watching the balls is more important than potting the balls, because watching and observing comes first. Then you can learn how to improve the next time if you don't get it perfect. So that again epitomises the path that you're on for long-term improvement. Diagnosing properly what you're doing, which is extremely important. And eventually that will become more second nature. Sometimes you won't know exactly what you did, but you can make a good guess, a good estimate. And at the end of the day, it's only, did I miss through aiming or cueing?
Yeah.
Or the table. Sometimes the table, or like your friend in the club who will talk about the kicks or whatever. So, same with positional play, assuming you've got a target for your white ball, which not every player does, but assuming you're doing that as a matter of discipline before every shot, then if you lose position, was I too high or too quick on the cue or too low, or did I choose the correct height and speed but my cueing was not as intended? So there's a bit of once you are familiar with diagnosing the pot through aiming or cueing that caused me to miss, then you've got, when that's automatic, you've got more headroom then to analyse that, to diagnose that positional play imperfections, and that feedback loop will help you always refine your positional play. So the top players are doing what you're doing there, exactly the same. A lot of them it's unconscious, so it's outside their conscious awareness, but they are doing it. Even at that level, every shot is a learning, is a practice. So it's an opportunity to improve as well. So, was there anything else that was particularly helpful or that stood out in your memory from either the work you did on the table when we were together, or that helped you particularly in your game?
I think we mentioned pretty much most of it,
Yeah.
There probably is stuff that I've missed, but I'm saying they were the key points, you know. It helped me improve and become more consistent.
Yeah, and that was what, 4 or 5 months ago?
Yeah, I think it was back in October?
Yeah, so the important thing here is, you know, we've covered 4 or 5 points. They're big chunky points. And that's it. The game is not that complicated. It's deliver this on the line of aim at the correct height, at the correct speed. That's it. There's nothing more to it than that. So if you didn't do that, how could I have done those 3 things better? That's it. And I like the simplicity you bring to the game, because you've then got the bandwidth to play snooker instead of being cluttered with a lot of stuff, which players tend to do. So you've epitomised perfectly there what it takes to play better snooker, which is why you thoroughly deserve that award. So it's a pleasure to have worked with you, and a privilege to offer that to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great job, Maj.
Cheers. Cheers.
Good job.